Welcome back to Sincerely Unique with your midweek tea.
We're live. We're well and here.
And we figured out Monique's mic.
I know. I'm so sorry, you guys, that I sound so muffled on our last episode. I was a little not happy about that.
Well, that's okay. We're learning. We're learning.
We're trying to figure this out. Although we should have already have this figured out, but things happen, things change.
Well, so yes and no, because we haven't recorded. I feel like we didn't record as much on Zoom.
Oh yeah, we didn't. Oh yeah, not
as much.
Mm-hmm. So it's like we're learning while it goes and stuff. Yeah, definitely. But I'm glad we figured this out because I just want you guys to be able to listen to me. And if you miss me, they're like, what the hell's wrong with Monique?
They're like, why does she sound? And you were hungover, so it was like,
and I was sick. Sick.
Like so we already knew your energy level was really low, anyways. But then you were just like,
I know. Sick. A mess. I sounded a mess. But this is the second episode of the year. You guys should be happy. You guys should be happy we're here doing this right now, because I know it's a lot.
We have some good episodes.
We do. I'm so excited.
Today's is probably going to be so deep. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
I feel like
I don't cry. Honestly, talking about what we're going to be talking about is a little. It does hit some things in the heart.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just it's what we go through.
Deep brief of the week.
Yeah. It looks like you're sucking dick.
No, that was last night. No.
Oh God. Well then, how are you? How are you doing mentally this week?
Remember when I was like, I'm doing great, friends. I'm doing great. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck the new moon thing in Venus or I don't know. I need to get into it. I have a book about it. I just haven't yet. But for some reason last week was just everything that I did to be mentally stable.
Oh yeah.
It was a very emotional week. There was just a lot of things going on and a lot of things piling up and just
life.
Yeah.
That's just, it's funny. And I hope people will see that we don't always have a good week. Our weeks aren't always full of motivation, focus. We end up falling and we end up having to pick ourselves back up and start from square one. It's just life.
But I did get a new laptop. Can you tell in the
yes, you look so good. I'm like, damn, I need a laptop now.
Yeah. And so that's exciting because now I'm able to quickly edit our podcast episode as well as use the content from our video, because we also, I assume they know, but maybe not, but we also record the video version and I'll upload it onto YouTube, but I'll also send it to Monique and we can use it as content for our Instagram page. So I tried to do that last week, but it was going to take 30 hours from my laptop to fucking save the video. So I was like, no. No.
Oh God. So, and if you guys don't know, Bianca is the mastermind behind our podcast. She edits, she does her thing, and I thank her for that because I don't know what the hell I'm doing half of the time. So yeah,
but I love it. Yeah, I love editing and being creative, because that creative.
It's your thing for sure. You really know how to do all that. I'm good at technology, but not as good as Bianca. So she's on top. She knows what she's doing.
So I have my new laptop, and then part of my gift part of Connor's gift to me for Christmas was he was going to put down money for my laptop, but then I ended up buying it anyways because I also paid off my credit card.
What? That is a huge milestone.
Yeah. See, so even though like last week was so sad, there were so many highs, like, so yeah.
I know. And then I just like credit cards, it's hard having to pay it. And then once you pay it off, it's just like a sigh of relief. Like, thank you, God. Like, I'm so happy that I have the ability and the funds to pay off like my credit card, because it is a bitch, let me tell you. And also, go ahead.
I was going to say, like last year where we just moved to like our new states, granted you kept your job from North Carolina, but I wasn't able to keep mine. So I was like jobless. Yeah. And then I was like picking up like hours like here and there. Like I did have a job, but it wasn't full time to the point where I could pay like a substantial amount on my credit card. So now it's like so nice to just...
Thank God. Yeah. Well, I'm actually really happy that you were able to purchase your own computer, because a computer is fucking expensive as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So congrats on that. You're making boss girl moves.
And then, anyways, Connor was going to help put money down for it, but then I purchased it on Christmas, but because of the C word, everything's like kind of back ordered or whatever, and so I didn't get it until this week. And then so now he's going to use the money that he was going to give me for my laptop to purchase this like external hard drive, like a bougie ass like external hard drive. He was talking to Lauren's husband Cobb, and so he was like getting all like the specs and stuff. Hold on, it's hot again. And so so he's going to get like this like hard drive thing for me. And then I'm going to be able to like plug it into my laptop and be able to like save all my stuff there. It's going to be great.
Oh, that's awesome. That's exciting. Hell yeah. Good for you. That's so exciting news for sure.
Yeah. So yeah. There was something else I was going to say about last week too, but I can't remember. Laptop. Yeah. I guess that's it. Yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad. So entering this new week, obviously is Monday tomorrow. You guys will be hearing this on Wednesday, but how do you think you're going to be this week? Is there things that, you went through this week that you're trying to change for this upcoming week, like mentally?
Stop being so emotional.
It's like, I don't even think you can even stop yourself from being emotional.
Yeah.
Like, it's like telling your feelings to not feel the way that they feel,
I know.
Shutting out your feelings.
I know.
It's quite difficult.
Yeah. And like, I used to do that all the time where I would not like express my emotions or anything. Like I would just keep it in. And then at that point, it's like, you're like going to be mad, like even more mad when everything
when you hold back from actually feeling what you're feeling, bottling it up inside, it just kind of affects you even more because of how much you're holding back. So don't do that, you guys. Express your feelings, and it doesn't have to be like verbal. You can really express it any way that you feel is good for your state of mind and for your well-being. So
just let it out. Let it cry.
Let it out. Even if you're a man and you don't believe in crying, just let it out. Just let those little tears out.
Or like go outside in nature and just scream. Yeah.
No, seriously. Oh gosh. Well, that's good. I'm glad that. Yeah. I mean, I'm not happy about the mood.
And journaling.
Yes. Journaling all the way.
How was your week? How are you doing mentally?
Okay. So I think we're kind of like on the same boat when it comes to the moon. Like, although I do think that, when a week before your period starts, like you already feel the dark cloud hovering over you, waiting to rain on your parade. And so like my period's like, it's almost here. It's 4 days until it gets here. And I felt so heavy today. Like I felt my body, my mind, like I was not focused. It wasn't my week. You know, last week I was sick and then trying to take care of the kids because they were sick, put a toll on my mental health. And then coming into this week, I was like ready. I was like, I'm feeling good. I'm not sick. Like I'm ready to, you know, start this week good. And then again to the week, middle of the week, I'm just like, I feel the heaviness, the dark cloud, the negativity. And it kind of just like, you know, put me down. It really just like, it's hard to not let it get to you. But as mentally strong as I am, as positive as I try to be, you know, I try to affirm like positive things in my life, but you know, sometimes it's not enough and you just go through those things. And I think this week was just kind of like a downer for me because you feel like you're not doing enough, but you are doing enough, but because your mental state of mind is not there. So you're just thinking so negative.
Yeah.
And
that's how like I felt too. Like at the end of the week, I was like, I got my period and I was like, fuck, like, is this why but then I was like talking to a few people and I was like, I just don't feel like I'm being overly emotional right now. Like, I don't think it's me being emotional. I think like there was just a lot of things
going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of things that's going on. And then you have your period on top of that, which is not like, it's not a good thing, you know? I mean, yeah, your period is, I don't want to make excuses like for my period. Like, I don't want to just put the blame on my period, but it really, really just makes you into a different person at that time. Like I don't recognize myself when I'm on my period because I'm not the positive, motivated, focused person that I want to be. I'm not my 100% self. Exactly. And it's just like, why? But then I find out, oh, it's because I'm 4 days away from my period.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just like your hormones and everything, just like it's hard to even like think that I was focused like last week and then this week I'm just like, what? Like, and then just like putting myself down like, oh, you're not even doing enough. Oh, this, that. Like, I'm just like, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Yeah.
So as much as like try to stir that negativity into a positive, like it's not easy. Like I'll wake up and I'm like, okay, like I feel it. I feel the dark cloud hovering over me, but I have to try to make the best out of it. I did try to make the best out of the week, but by the end of the week, I was just so drained mentally because of all the negative thoughts, the heaviness on my body. It wasn't the week for me, to be honest, you know?
Yeah.
And my period's not even here yet. So it's like, what's going to happen next week? You know, like I'm trying to prepare myself mentally that it's just, you know, my period's coming. And during my period, I'm just like such a bum. Like, I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to, I'm so antisocial. I just don't want none of it. I just want to stick to myself.
Right.
And so I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for this week because my period's coming. I'm trying to think of ways of like, yes, your period's here, but how are you going to be positive? How are you going to turn that and not just blame it on your period? Because you're going to have your period for the rest of your life. I mean, well, unless you get older. But,
until you hit menopause.
But I mean, what are you going to do? You can't just keep blaming it on your period. You can't just keep like, okay, well, I'm just going to sit back and relax. And when my period's done, then I'll get back to work and focus. Like, I can't do that. Like, my life isn't going to wait on me, you know? So that's some things that I'm learning. This week wasn't a good week mentally. I mean, it was good in general, but it just mentally, I was not there. So, you know, we have those weeks. I'm learning every week. I'm learning how to like become a better person, think positive. It's a battle. It's definitely a battle. So I know a lot of people can, you know, relate to that because, you know, we battle our feelings. I mean, battle our emotions and our mental health. Like it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it is. And like, I wonder if there were a lot of other people last week that felt weird or felt like
I'm pretty sure. I feel like a lot of people feel it. Like when they talk about the new moon, like the new moon is like fierce. People feel it. I believe in that. I really do. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people believe that too, because I see a lot of people posting about it. So
yeah.
And every time there's a new moon, like, you know, manifest, do this, do that, you know, speak about your mental health during the new moon because it's going to be beneficial for your health this month and blah, 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 stuff like that. So,
yeah,
you know, this coming week, I'm just like hoping that I can prepare myself, and hopefully it's a better week. Hopefully I come back to you guys and tell you, you know, like it's one of those weeks that I just had, and it's going to be better this week. So pray for me. Nah.
We're praying.
Pray for me, please. Also,
go ahead.
A little update. If you tune in to our last podcast and my crazy parent night, and you heard that my husband lost his wallet, well, guess what? He found his wallet. Yeah, it was in his t-shirt drawer. I'm like, why would it be in there? He's like, I think I was hiding it from myself. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. I don't blame you for that. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Oh, so, God.
Update, he found his wallet. Nothing's
yay,
lost.
No, yay. Guys, Monique got me this Namaste stressless cards. I want to say stressless as like one word. Stressless cards. So I figured what we could do is we could shuffle them and pull a card for the week.
What if we get the same card? Or do we just take it out?
No, I'm going to shuffle and pick one card for all.
Okay.
Like
for
me, okay. For me, you, for them too.
Ooh, so this is going to be good. I'm excited for this. I hope you guys really enjoy this. I actually post my stressless cards every Monday, but I feel like this is so much better because you guys can totally relate.
Okay, so
and we're sending positive vibes for the week, so definitely good.
Let's do some ASMR now.
That was horrible. I couldn't hear nothing
because the mic is up here. Okay, so I'm gonna pick. Okay, I'm gonna pick a card. All right, ready? Okay, I picked a card. I'm put over here. Okay, put these cards back. All right, here's the card. Not that they can read because it's gonna be backwards, but
acknowledge what to do.
Acknowledge what you do.
Ooh, I love that.
How many things do you actually accomplish in a day? Do you even remember all of them? Take a day and be conscious of everything you start and finish. You'll be amazed at how many things you actually do, from small to large tasks. Take a brief moment to acknowledge every completed task. At the end of the day, thank yourself for what you've accomplished. There may be things that were not completed, but there's always tomorrow. Never mind that right now. Be grateful for what you were able to accomplish today. This will add motivation to do even more tomorrow. Oh, that was a good one.
They were speaking to me right there.
That's a good one because it's like so things that you don't really think about too. Like, you know, like you get up and you're breathing. Like that's like a huge thing, you know, like, but you don't think about it because you just do it all the time.
Yeah. You don't know how grateful you are. You don't actually think of like the things that you're grateful for.
Yeah.
That is such a perfect stressless card because that kind of like created a fire in my heart right now. I'm like, I'm so ready for this week. So I needed that.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
No, thank you for that.
I love that. I always try to give you like some sentimental gift. I'm like, I need her to be positive with me.
I know. I always forget too, like your little calendar thing. I uploaded yesterday and it was like fucking 5 or 6 days. Like it was
I saw, when you posted that, I was gonna write back and I was like, well, damn. Might as well just go to February already.
I know. Like how I feel about January. Like
oh, by the way, you guys, if you guys follow me on social media. If you don't follow me now, it's Yoganique. I don't even know my name on social media, but anyways, if you guys
it'll be tagged in the notes too.
Yeah. If you guys seen my post, I posted that I haven't changed my calendar since September. Well, guess what I did?
It's changed.
I bought some new markers, and I'm going to change my calendar today. So yeah.
Now that it's January 23rd and February is like tomorrow.
No. So I'm actually going to start in February. I mean, okay. February's day. I'm like, there's no point in me putting January at all. Like, I'm a little late. September.
Wake me up when September ends.
That was my mentality, but then like I never woke up until January.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
All right. On to today's topic.
Yes.
How many of you, this is a question for everyone. Mm-hmm. How many of you are afraid to be quote unquote different? Mm. Like we all have gone through different phases in our life where we feel like we're different and we don't want to be out there. We want to be the same. We want to be like everyone else, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you know, like for example, you're in kindergarten and now you need glasses. Granted, I was like 27 when I got my glasses, but like, but you know, like, you can't really see the board, or like the teachers are saying you can't see very well. And now you have to get glasses. So like, you're like, oh my God, like I'm going to look like a dork or whatever, you know, like you just have these thoughts. Or like maybe in the 6th grade, you need braces and you have like metal in your mouth now. And it's just like weird. And you're like, you don't want to smile anymore because you have or maybe like in high school for the girls, especially, not necessarily for the guys, but for girls, you've hit puberty and you're like growing, and maybe your boobs aren't as big as like some of your friends or some of your peers. And you're just like feeling like you're a little different. Or maybe even like for college. So this goes for like every age group, but like maybe you're in college and you didn't do so hot in high school, and you kind of have to like not necessarily stay back in your grade, but you have to like start a like pre-class, like a pre-English or a pre-math or something like that to get to the college level of classes. So like maybe you're just feeling like kind of defeated in that way, and you're like, oh, I'm so different, like I'm not smart like everyone else. Like, so these are just like a few examples of how like
you feel different.
Like how normal people, like quote unquote normal people, would feel different. For us, like for me and Monique, like our feeling different is so much more than that, just because like my mom's not from here. She was born in Thailand. So like I was born here, but I still like look different. Like you know, people look at me and they're like, where are you even from? Like they don't even know where I'm from. They like guess, they like guess I'm like Filipino. They guess I'm like Chinese. They guess I'm
Mexican.
They guess I'm like Indian. They guess all of these like different things. Like they don't know where I am from because I don't look like I'm from here. Yeah. So yeah, we're just going to like touch on that. So if you are a fellow, I don't even know how to put it, like born American, but your parents aren't from here and you feel different, like this is the episode for you.
We're here, we hear you, we see you.
Exactly. So
okay. And also before we get into this topic, I will be speaking on my experience. We all face different challenges and all of us have different stories. So I hope I don't offend anyone during this. Again, I'm only speaking on my struggles and what I've gone through. So if this does not pertain to you or you've never gone through that, it's okay. It doesn't mean that you haven't felt different, because there's a lot of ways that you can feel different.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted to talk about like the differences between like, you know, being in school and like having all these new things like glasses, braces, like all that. Cause I know everyone feels different in their own way. It's just like, we're going to be talking more so about like different races as in us. Like I'm Asian American and she is Mexican. So like, it's like, that's where we're going to be targeting like our experiences.
Definitely. So. And she's right on point. I was going to say the same thing. I was literally just going to copy you. I was like, why am I going to do that?
Yeah. It's cool. It's cool. We're all on the same wavelength. We texted each other at the same time. Like,
seriously. Okay, wait. I need to put my charger on.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Are you driving a car or what?
No, I'm playing the elevator music.
Your hand movements are doing something today, okay?
As I mentioned, my mom is from Thailand. My dad was born here, or he's American. So I have grown up to be different. Like I mentioned, like nobody knows what I am.
Yeah.
And it's just a mix because my mom's not from here and then my dad's from here. So like, it's just like, what are you? You know?
Yeah.
And so I always would get made fun of because of my eyes.
Yeah.
Like people would always call me Chinese. They'd always do like the pulling back of the eyes and like, you know, like make fun of me because of that. And then, what else? Like I would always be afraid to I'd always be afraid to like show pictures of like my mom or like my family because like they obviously aren't from here. So like I would always be like, oh, I'm so weird. Like all of these American kids are like, you know, have like white parents and like I'm so different. And I remember there was one time, I think it was the 4th grade, we had to talk about like our heritage. And so I brought in pictures from when we used to go to the temple a lot. So like, it's just kind of like going to church in a way where we go to the temple and we bless the monks and we bring food for them because they only eat like a big breakfast and that's it. Like they're not allowed to have money. So they can't go out and like buy food, right?
Yeah.
And so we would go in and we would bless them with food. And we would not me because I was little, but like my family would make food and then like we would all share it with them. So like the monks would go and get their food, get their plates, and then they would go off and eat somewhere. And then like the rest of us there would like grab our plates and then we would eat the food. And so that's kind of like in the like a huge, like a long story short kind of story of what we do when we go to the temple. There's a lot of praying and a lot of blessing like in Thai or Laos, like because sometimes we went to like different temples. And so I don't know what was said, obviously, because I don't speak Thai. So I'm not really sure what was said, but it's all in all like just like praying. Okay. So I showed a picture and there's like one of them where it was me in a green dress and then it was my brother. I think my cousins might have been in it. I don't really remember, but we had like a stick and we had money like taped onto it. And so like, that's like another way like that we like would bless them is that we would like put money like on a stick and like put it like in front of them or whatever. And so there was like that one picture and I was so afraid to like show the picture because I was in like a little Thai outfit and like, I just felt weird. But I showed it and so many people were like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like what you do and like all that. And I'm just like, why is it like now people are like, that's so cool. Like why you made fun of me. Yeah. Like you made fun of me for so long. And so I don't know if it was just a way like to talk about your life and like to, you know, share what's going on and everything. And then because people don't know, or it could have been the age that, people are like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Because the older they get, the more like they understand you know, kids don't really have a filter when they're younger. And I feel like the older they get, they realize how cool it is now. you know?
Yeah. And that's the other thing too. So like fur or faux or pho, like however you want to pronounce it. Everyone's different.
Yeah.
But like my grandma used to make it all the time when we were younger. And it was like my favorite meal. And for the longest time, like my grandma was like, don't tell anybody like what you eat, like don't say anything, like whatever, like almost like don't, you know, like don't tell people. And it's like, what? Okay. So like I would never say that. But now like all the Americans are like all the white people are like, oh my God, this is so good. Like I love this. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like I've had that when I was little.
Yeah, like I'm just like, that's like my grandma makes it all the time. Yeah. But it's like a new like hip thing now that everybody's like, oh, I love it. Like, I don't know.
I just feel like it's so there's like a lot of things that are glamorized now. Like you need to try this, you need to try that. Look how cool this is. Look how cool that is.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things in my you know, being Mexican, like there's a lot of cool things now, like hot Cheetos with chile, like everyone likes it now, and like hot sauce, and it's just I feel like it's glamorized now because it's everyone wants to try it. Everyone wants to be a part of that. You know, even if they're not Mexican or not, like they want to be a part of that. And it's crazy to think like how it has all changed. You know, I think it's getting better. I mean, a lot of people are now understanding like different race and understanding. I feel like a lot of people want, how do I say it? A lot of people want to be from somewhere else because it's cool. Like, oh, I have a little bit of Irish in me, or, you know, I'm from London and I have this accent. Like people want that because of how cool it is now. You know, it's all about what's cool in this generation. You know, if you don't have an accent, you kind of look like weird. Or, you know, if you don't have colored eyes, you're kind of like, oh, okay. Like they don't have colored eyes, you know?
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's so weird. So then like, and so for the longest time, like we didn't feel like accepted, right? Like we, And then funny story is that when so I went to Thailand when I was like maybe 5. I don't really remember too much of it because I was young. And then like I remember bits and pieces. Like I remember like being at the airport. I remember my brother being 3. So I might have been 6. I don't know. Because we're 3 years apart. So like I'd say maybe I was 6. And so I remember like my little brother, like him being little, and we were like at the airport. Like that's pretty much like all that I can remember from then. Like I have no idea what else like happened. But then there was a second time that I went to Thailand, and I was about like 14 or 15. It was before I started high school. And I like remember we got there, me and my brother were sick, and so we didn't do anything for like a few days. We just like slept, and then we finally like felt better, and we went on a bike ride with my other cousin. And I remember we were riding through the neighborhood, and the Thai people would literally call us white people as we were riding our bikes in the neighborhood. And it was like, what the fuck? Like you go to America, or you're in America, and like people were like, oh, you're Chinese. Like, oh yeah, fuck you. You shouldn't be here. Like all this. And then like you're in Thailand where your mother was born, and you're just like being called white. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I don't belong anywhere.
I feel you 100% on that. It's funny because people who are the same race as you are a lot more judgmental than you think, because you're not, oh, you're Mexican, but you can't talk Spanish. Like, oh, your Spanish is funny, but you're Mexican. So they are so good at judging you. I actually experienced, you know, I work at an insurance company, and, you know, I speak Mexican. So if there's anyone who is talking in Spanish, they always go to me and they're like, oh, okay, can you help out? Can you help them? And I don't mind, I help them as much as I can. Now, I'm not 100% good at Spanish. You know, there's a couple of things I can say, I can understand. So I was talking to another girl in Spanish. She was actually Dominican. So they do have a different language. I mean, it's I don't know how to say it. I don't really know. Like, they have a different way of speaking Spanish is what I'm trying to say.
They just have a different dialect.
Yeah. So when I was trying to talk to her, she's just like, was looking at me weird and just like telling me, she's all like, ¿eres mexicana? And I was like, yes. And she's all like, oh, no, it is. And I'm like, and it's like things like that kind of just like, I don't like that. Like, I'm trying to help you. Like, don't judge me because of the way that I speak. Like, it's a lot of like, it makes you feel like, damn, like I really need to speak. I need to work on my Spanish, I guess. But because they have like a different way, it just put a kind of like, it made me feel weird. It just like wasn't nice. And I just felt like I was being judged by someone who speaks Spanish, maybe in a different way, but it was still judgmental. And it just like made me feel bad. So it's things like that. Like, you come across, like, I know a lot of Mexicans. Like, I grew up in El Paso, Texas. It's filled with Latinos, like everywhere. And sometimes like you just like get judged by real hardcore Mexicans who know their shit, who knows how to talk Spanish. And I'm just like, damn, like I can't even, I'm like being judged by my own race. Like it sucks.
Yeah.
So I've gone through that so many times.
It's sad. Like, even like in my own family, like my mom, okay, so the reason why my mom never taught me and my brother Thai was because of my white dad. And he was so self-conscious that he didn't want my mom to teach us because he felt like we would talk shit about him in Thai. And it's like, okay, first of all, my mom, or like, first of all, we are children. Like, we don't know, like, whatever. We're learning from scratch. Granted, we are like sponges and we would learn way quicker than what he would learn, but he could learn too. Like, he could learn at the same time, like that me and my brother would learn. So there was that. And then the other thing was that my mom never even told me like the whole reason of why they got divorced until I was an adult.
Yeah.
So she's not going to be like, yo, like, look at your dad. Like, what a piece of shit, you know, like that's just not who she is.
Yeah.
But you feel that way because maybe that's where, like, that's how you feel. Like, that's what you would do, you know? So there was that. And then, so because of that, we just never learned. And I tried to learn, but like learning on a computer or like learning, like, it's just not the same.
Oh yeah.
And so I tried. And then there are some words that I know, or some sentences that I know that my mom or like my grandma would say to us a lot, like, go take a shower, or like, let's eat.
Like the simple things. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I know those, but then, and I know words like mom, dad.
Yeah.
Like that, but I don't know like the extent of like having a conversation with someone. And so like I remember my grandma would make fun of us all the time. Like, me and DJ, like we would like, she would be like, oh, you don't know what we're saying? Like, like kind of laugh. And I'm just like, okay, you're laughing at me, but you could be teaching me too.
You could be teaching me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like don't judge me, teach me, because obviously I didn't grow up, or I didn't come out of the womb speaking Thai, you know?
Yeah.
Teach me.
It's just crazy how like your own kind, like
don't you think like, because you know how they were raised, like back then, they're like, okay, well, if I caught in like your grandma, like if I grew up learning Thai off of my parents who didn't teach me, well, then obviously these kids will learn without me teaching them, because that's probably
and that's probably what it is. But if I feel like if they spoke Thai to us like all the time, then yes, like 100% we would be fluent in Thai.
Yeah.
But there wasn't. I mean, my mom, like, I don't know why she didn't after my dad and her divorce. Like, maybe she was going through her own stuff that like, it was just kind of like, I don't have the time or patience or whatever. But yeah, like I'm just like, I don't know, like I just feel like there could have been something there.
Yeah, it's fun. It's crazy because like my grandma was born in Juarez, Mexico, and my grandpa was Indio Chihuahua. And then my mom was raised in El Paso, which is my hometown. My dad was born in Juarez. So all they did was they talked Spanish to us. I mean, they talk to us English too, but I don't understand why we never caught on as well as, you know, as much as they talk it. Because I'm just like, you guys speak very good Spanish. I don't understand how we never caught on to that. Like, there's a couple of things I know, you know, I can speak Spanish, but not as good as my mom. When I see her talk Spanish, I was like, damn, like, why weren't we taught this? You know, like
so it's almost like she needed to actually sit down and like teach.
Yeah. And I even took a Spanish class, and yeah, I don't know. It's crazy to like, it kind of makes me like feel, different because I don't talk good Spanish like my mom, you know. It's just like, okay, you're Mexican, but you can't even really say some of these words. Like, are you really Mexican, or you're just like a whitewash American?
Yeah.
So it sucks because you put yourself in that category, and you're just like, damn, like I can't even be proud of my race because I don't really speak or know the culture of it.
It's crazy. Like, even for the longest time, like when I was younger, I would try and pretend so bad that I was more like American. Like, I like all the trends and the everything that was going on. Like, I was like, yeah, like I'll adapt to that. Like, that's me.
But it's hard to like not, you know, stay on top of your culture if you're not really living in it, you know. You're living in the US, you're experiencing all these things, and you just have to go with it. That's how you're living. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like it's our generation and our parents' generation.
Oh yeah. So right now, me and Gonzo are trying to teach the kids Spanish and English. The only hard part is Mateo's gonna be 2, and because we talk Spanish and English, he's having a hard time
just doing the both.
Yeah, or learning words because we're back and forth. And I'm just like, oh, fuck, like I hope this doesn't mess him up.
What did you do with Noah?
I did the same thing.
So he
knows. So his dad talks English, but he mainly talks Spanish. So that's his main language. So and then me, obviously, I talk more English and then a little bit of Spanish.
Yeah.
So I didn't talk to Noah in Spanish fluently. Like that's not all I did. I talked English, but there was a couple words I would use, like siéntate, come, bañase, like stuff like that. Like that's what I would use, you know, and he understands that now. Like when he's older, he understands when I talk English and Spanish to him. Even when his dad talks to him in Spanish or his family talks to him in Spanish, he understands, but can he speak it? He cannot. No. Yeah. So
it's so hard because like sometimes I understand words in Thai, but it's like for some reason I can't like project it. Like, I'm like, oh, I know. Yeah. Like I know what she's saying. Like, and then it's like
yeah. No, like
words.
Yeah, like you know what you're about to say, but it's just like
yeah, like I can say it in my head too. Like I literally can say it in my head, but I can't say it out loud.
And it doesn't come out the way that you think. Like it comes out actually worse.
Yeah.
And sometimes Gonzo Gonzo, my own husband makes fun of me in the way that I speak Spanish, because my husband talks really, really good Spanish. He does. He can hold a conversation in Spanish. Now, me, on the other hand, he hears me and he's just like, fuck. He's like, you need to learn Spanish. I'm just like don't make me feel that way. Like
teach me, bro. Teach me.
Fuck. Yeah. But see, it's like whatever. I just feel like everyone's gonna judge you no matter what. That's just how it is. Like you can. Even white people get judged. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of white people get judged too for not being, you know, white.
True.
Is that bad to say? But if someone tells you, you know, a race doesn't face discrimination, they're lying. Like, I feel like all of us face discrimination no matter what.
Yeah.
I don't know. Discrimination. Have you been discriminated before?
Other than just like in school.
In school.
No, and like, well, there's a one airport thing. I don't know. I don't know. Like, there was one thing that happened at the airport. I think I told you about it.
No.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I was on the phone with you when I was coming home from work one day. So I was at the airport.
Oh yeah. Recently. Yeah. When you guys went to go travel to.
Yeah.
No. Right?
Yeah. And so I was like, Connor has TSA pre-check, so he does his own thing. I just go through the security. And there was like one like situation that happened. I don't even see myself as like Asian. Like I mean, I look different, but like I just, you know, nobody knows. I could be white for all they know. So I'm like in the line and I know to take my shoes off, like put my suitcase in its own bin, like take my coat off, like all, like I've been through the airport before, like I know. And so I was going through the airport. I put my luggage in the one bin, and then I had a backpack, and took my shoes off, and then I had a coat. So I took the coat off, and then I remembered that I had a tablet in my backpack. So I took my tablet out and put it like on top in the same bin. And the guy was like, "Oh, ma'am, you need to put that in its own bin." And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, what?" So like I do it, and it's just by itself, which kind of is irritating because like at least the sweatshirt could like keep it safe.
Yeah.
And then I saw the girl in front of me. Her laptop was in the same bin as her sweatshirt and her shoes. I'm like, why was mine?
Yeah.
Why did my little tiny tablet had to be on its own? And then when that happened, he ended up putting my fucking suitcase on top of my backpack. And I was like, okay, if I can't put my tablet on top of my sweatshirt, like, why'd you just put my suitcase on top of my backpack? Like, it just made no sense to me. Yeah. And I was like, whatever, do whatever you think is right. And so it just kind of irritated me because it's like this white girl in front of me just did what I did. And like, I am doing it wrong, you know, but whatever.
Do you think that you recognize stuff like that happening to you because you're Thai? Like, do you catch it and you're just like, was that discrimination or was he just not paying attention?
Yeah. Like, and that's why like I was like kind of irritated when it happened because I was like, is that because she's white? But then I'm like, nah, like no, like I barely even look like I'm Asian. Yeah. Like I'm like, that can't be. Like I don't know.
Oh God. So I get it because I noticed things, but I don't speak up about it because I just feel like I don't want to give them that pleasure of knowing that they were trying to discriminate me, you know? Like I said, I work as I'm an insurance agent. And when I moved to North Carolina, I felt the discrimination a lot.
Really?
Yeah. And it's like again, like it's little things you notice, but you don't want to speak about it. You're just like, you know, it probably, you try to make excuses for it. So this one time, I was working in the office and we have a window. So whenever a client comes in, they just go up to the window and then I'll go to the window and ask if they need help. So there was an older white lady. She walked in front of the window and then she rang the bell and I went up to her and I was like, how can I help you? And then she looks at me dead in the face and she's all like, can I speak to someone who speaks English?
Oh my God.
And my coworker heard that and she came out and she's like, excuse me, she is speaking to you in English. And I literally just froze and like went back and I'm just like, I was just shocked because I was like, this was my first time being discriminated. And I just felt so like, what? Like, I didn't even say anything to you in Spanish. I would think that I look white enough to,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really feel like I look Mexican.
It's so weird how we like see like ourselves
Because I don't really feel like there's like, how do you know I'm Mexican, you know?
Yeah.
And then sometimes I think like, well, I do kind of have like an accent. So I'm like, maybe that came out, but I'm just like making excuses for her behavior. I'm like, why am I doing that? Like, that's not your fault. Like, that's just her fault for being the way that she is. You know, and I feel like a lot of people make excuses for being discriminated. Now, there's a lot of people who speak their mind and like start recording and be like, did you just discriminate me? Tell them right now why you won't let me go onto the plane, like stuff like that. Like, it's crazy to watch, but I'm just like, I don't know what I would have done in that situation. Like, if someone discriminated me like in a different way, or like, you know, not letting me in because of something like that.
Yeah.
But also like another time, I'm just sharing two things, but it happened here in Colorado. I think I told you about my downstairs neighbor.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yep.
Well, I won't go into the whole story, guys. It's way too long. But anyways, when I was coming outside and the cops were called, and I was following this lady who was harassing us. She was a white older lady. And when I was coming out behind her, instead of screaming at her because she was harassing us and we called the cops, they're like, get away from her, screaming at me, telling me to get away from her, telling me to put my hands up, like if I did something. And I just like, what? Like, what's going on here? Like, it just blew my mind. Now, again, it can possibly be because they don't know the whole story, although this is their second time coming out. So they know the story at that time. The same cops came out. So for them to come and knowing the situation, they still protected her than for me, you know? So it was just like, it blew my mind. I'm just like, situations like that, like, make me so upset. But I didn't speak on it. I didn't go to the cop. What the fuck? Like, why are you discriminating me? Like, how did you know? Like, I was doing anything, you know? I didn't say anything. I just listened to the cop. I'm like, I'm not even going to get into this. It's not worth my time. Like, it's not worth my energy to even like get into it. So,
but also they probably thought you were a boss ass bitch, because I mean, for a little tiny girl, what are you, 4'9"?
4'9", you guys.
4'9", little tiny ass girl, like, and you're like, put your hands up, like,
like
okay.
I know, like, I'm like, I didn't fucking do shit,
like,
it blows my mind, like, situations. I know a lot of people go through way worse than, you know, what I went through, but discrimination is alive and well. Like, it's still out there. Like, you know, just, I don't know, the looks, the stares, the judgment, the feeling like you're doing something wrong when you're not, just because of your race. Like, people are out there judging you. So, you know, it's just us, like, our struggle is being that, like, our struggle isn't because we have glasses or because, like, you know, we have braces. Our struggle is because you're Asian, and you're Asian, right? Or, well, Thai, sorry. But is that
it's Asia?
Yeah.
It's Asian,
okay. And then me being Mexican, like, we struggle with that. Like, we struggle with that difference of being who we are. And can we help it? No. Can we change it? No. It's just, yeah.
So, to bring light to the situation. Oh, unless you want to go further.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So I was like, okay, so to bring light to this situation though, like, think about it. How many people, like, when was the first time you went to Mexico? How young were you?
Well, so I'd never been in Mexico. I've been to Juarez, which is like across the border from, but that was like, I would say like in my teens. That's the last time I've actually gone over there.
Was that the first time though?
No. So when my first time when I was like very little.
See, like, so how many people can say that they have been to these different places at a young age?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, like, my hometown is actually neighbors to the border. So it's literally across the border. So it wasn't like we traveled anywhere far. But yeah, I get it.
But like not many people have passports that they can even do that.
Yeah, well, I didn't have a passport either.
Well, I mean, I don't know if when you're a kid. No, I think I needed one.
No. Yeah. Well, I mean, at that time, they didn't require you to have a passport. It's just literally you show your ID. And at that time, it's like, are you American? And then they let you pass. Literally, that's how it was. It was so easy back then. Now they require you to have so much.
Oh, okay.
I know.
I was thinking like, because when I went to Canada one time, I needed a passport.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking that, like, because you're going over.
Mm-hmm. And well, every time Noah goes, to our hometown, he goes to Juarez because his dad lives there. Mm-hmm. So he always crosses the border. Like, he's always over there, which scares me. But he's over there and he doesn't require a passport right now, not at his age.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as he has his birth certificate and stuff like that. So,
okay. But see, like when you think about it though, like so many people want to travel and do all these things, but it's like we did it, Yeah, like I've been out of the country. Like I went to Thailand 2 times. Like how many other people can say that?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I mean, it is good, and I'm very, very happy being Mexican. Like, there's no shame. There's a lot I wish like I knew about my culture and like, just pass it on to my kids so they can live off of that as well, knowing the knowledge of it. But it's just like, I'm not gonna front. I'm not that. Like, I don't know a lot of it. I don't speak a lot of Spanish. So it's hard to like, give that to my kids when I'm not fully aware of like our Mexican culture.
Yeah. But maybe you could like teach and learn at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you teach someone, then you learn more.
Yeah, that's very true. I can. And I feel like it's up to us in this generation, if we want our, for our culture to live on, like we need to teach that to our kids. Yeah. Because I feel like it's important. It's very important.
Yeah. Sorry for the intense episode, guys.
It's just, I hope that people can actually relate to this and, just know that no matter or what makes you different in life, like that doesn't make you less of a human. Yeah. So, whatever, you guys should tell us what makes you different and what makes you proud of being different. Because what makes you proud is being Mexican, honestly. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like what you touched on too, like just wanting to learn more about like our heritage and everything. So there you go. Heritage. Why can I not figure out that word? I'm like culture over here. Heritage. Thank you for that. You could have fixed me.
I didn't even think about it because I said it earlier too.
Yeah. Oh, but I'm really catching up. But anyways, you guys, yeah. I hope you guys enjoy this podcast.
I know it was a second podcast episode to be freaking deep as fuck. Yeah. But you know what? It was like, because you touched on it in the last episode about how like you didn't want to start because
of my accent.
Yeah. And like just words and all that. But it makes you. Yeah. Makes you unique. Like
exactly. Whatever makes you different makes you unique. I hope people can take that and like really understand that, because a lot of people like are insecure of what makes them different. Yeah. Which exactly like how I was feeling when we just started this podcast. Like my accent, it made me different, but it made me very insecure to even like talk to anyone, because I was like, oh, my Mexican accent is going to come out and they're just going to think I'm weird. And it's just, it's not weird, you guys. You're just different and you're beautiful and you're unique.
See, there you go. There's some positivity.
Positivity.
Thank you for listening.
Leave us a comment.
See you next Wednesday.